like a funeral convention or anything like that?
Tight, but it happens a lot up here.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just sometimes they're just too woke.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to be a little woke in the sense of like,
of course. I'm not going to go up there and say completely punching down hurtful things.
Right.
But I'm also not sugarcoating. Like,
you have to kind of, I mean, comedy is all about the First Amendment. It's very much, we take the shitty things in the world, shine them up, and make them funny for people. And there's a lot of shitty things in the world. And sometimes, the way we may say something may not be the most graceful thing, but we're saying things that need to be pointed out, right? A lot of times too. And so it's a weird line to cross in terms of like, you don't want to offend, but at the same time, you don't, comedy is not meant to be played safe.
There's also, sometimes, Diane, I feel like no matter what I say, they're not going to fucking like me. Like, I just feel like sometimes there's certain crowds that they're just not, I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah. I mean, there's been times where I've walked into a room when I've gone up on the mic and I could already tell, like, I'm like, okay.
I felt like the minute I got up there, what I think happened is the minute I got up and I opened and I saw their reaction, inside of me is like, wah, wah.
Yeah, it's like, wah, wah,
and I'm not confident with the rest of my material, and they can feel it. They can feel that I'm not committing.
Right, it's like they smell the fear.
Thank you.
It's like they smell the fear.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times, and this is what I tell myself too. I mean, open mics are a little tricky because obviously sometimes they're at restaurants and people don't know that surprise, there's comedy.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, I'm not going to use this word. It's like you're assaulting them with your comedy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm going to shove this dick joke down your mouth if I eat tacos. I'm going to talk about my taco while you're eating tacos, which is literally what happened.
That's literally what you do talk about.
Yeah, I do have a joke about my taco.
Well, I yelled out "cunt" like 7 times at that one mic, and this one old lady, Lauren, this old lady looked like she was gonna fucking stab me with her fork, and she passed me to go to the bathroom in the middle of my joke, and she just glared at me, and I was like, you know what, Cindy, you can just go for her or just keep pushing through, and you know what I mean? I just kept going, but she was like,
sounds fun.
But yeah, I mean, or something, it just sometimes when you like enter the room and you see, when other comics go up and you see what jokes like they're not laughing at, you're like,
then you can say, all right, I'm not doing that. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm not going to do my bit on such and such.
Right.
Because I'm starting to develop, like, I'm like, okay, let me put these bits together for this show and this bit for this show. I mean, there's still like a lot of work to be done with my stuff, but.
Well, you just came back, so you're
I just came back,
trying to. I mean, your old jokes probably still would work, but
well, one of them, I still do. I've changed the wording a little bit,
right?
But the rest, some of them are like about Facebook when Facebook started.
Oh, so they were just
some of them are really
some of it just like throwaway.
Like it was like I had one bit about I had just broken up with someone. I had an ex-boyfriend. When I started in comedy, like this guy would go to every one of my gigs, which I don't recommend, like, at all. Like, you want them to miss you a little bit. You don't want them to know your jokes verbatim, and then they kind of feel like they're your comedy coach, and they're giving you, like, feedback afterwards. Like, especially after you bombed, I'm like, I want to fucking hear it. Can you just, like, hug me and tell me I'm pretty and funny? That's all I want. I don't need your, like, oh, now that you've seen so many male comics say dick jokes, now you're going to give me feedback. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I want a boyfriend, not a comedy coach. So, after a while, but I had one bit about an ex-boyfriend, and like the Facebook check-in feature had just come out.
Oh.
So I had this one bit about like how I'm going to like use the check-in feature to like troll him.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to check in, like I'm going to say I'm at his house and be like, oh, I'm sorry for the broken window.
Wait,
and then
that makes a good bit. Wait.
And then I had another one where like, where you could just tag people on pictures. I was just gonna. In the bit. I was like, oh, and then I uploaded a picture of a sonogram I found on Google Images, and I'm like, congratulations, you're gonna be a daddy. You know. But like, here's the thing. That was like when Facebook, the check-in feature just became a thing. Like the tagging feature just became a thing. But now it's like.
But it's funny though to think like, oh, I'm going to stalk you on the check-in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna,
Well, I'm going to tell you, sometimes people do come up with like these hysterical bits. And this one person did this one bit. I'm just getting like lightly. It was about how getting, they got Facebook banned, like blocked by an ex, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On the two social medias. They said, but they didn't block me on Venmo. So I'm trolling him on Venmo now to see where he is because everybody's paying him for things. It's like, oh, for drinks and whatever, 20, So she was like, now I'm down to stalking his Venmo. Like he's forgot to block me on Venmo. But I like there was some funny shit in there.
Yeah.
But I was like, that shit was funny though,
I was Facebook friends with my ex for like a long time. And that was probably, I was like, oh, we broke up, but not on Facebook. Like we're still Facebook. Well, I eventually obviously like unfriended him. Right. But for the longest time, I was still Facebook friends with him. And like I was asking for,
if he didn't never checked his Facebook and you were tagging him and all that shit, and he never checks it. Like with the sonograph picture, like
I know, right?
Always check your Facebook, people.
Check your Facebook. I don't care how long it has.
Crazy ass Diane on there, tagging a house. Oh, holding a sign. We're homeowners.
I'm sorry you couldn't be here, babe. Love you.
You're at work, but yeah. A ring. Oh, that is funny. Like, check your Facebook, dude. Diane's over here fucking up your life.
Yeah. Check your tag post from 10 years ago.
Check your tag post. Yeah.
Yeah, my sonogram child will be 10. I'm gonna pull up another Google Images of like a 10-year-old.
You need a 10-year-old now. What do you pick? I say you make the baby non-binary. You're
there.
they.
We go. I'm respect. Yeah, of course.
Did
yeah.
you say they?
They.
They.
They are growing up beautifully.
They are growing up beautifully. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, but you know what? That is a funny bet. But yeah, so you're pretty much down to like all new material now. We met in a comedy class, so I know
we did.
Yeah.
You know some of my material, yeah.
Yeah. But man, yeah, shit is crazy. It's comedy's crazy, but you know what? South Florida is the bomb.
Yeah, we have a really good scene, and like, compared to 10 years ago, there's so many more mics. There's like a big diversity of the type of comics down here too. There's people who do like musical stand-up, people who do more like one-liners, people who are more physical, people who are more static and, kind of monotone. So there's a lot of different perspectives, and it's really cool to see that. Yeah.
So for me, when I travel and do like a lot of like open mics, I've learned like a lot of, a lot of it is so, it has to do with like your area, your state.
Right. It's regionalized or localized. Right. And
so at open mics, a lot of it does get lost in me because I don't know, but you guys have so many like Cuban and Spanish people.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the comics are Cuban, Spanish,
Yeah. Hispanic.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, I'm learning a lot about the culture too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I go to New York and do comedy in the city, there's so many Jewish people, and so much of their comedy is about being Jewish. And a lot of it gets lost on me because I never really learned.
Right.
Like I never learned about getting a tree planted for you in Israel. Like I've had. I've heard three different people do jokes about their grandfather or whatever having a tree planted for them, and it's like, and I'm like,
and I learned about birthright through stand-up. Actually, I forgot who it was that was talking about it, but like birthright, where basically if like you can claim Israeli descendants, or I think you earn a trip to like Israel.
Oh,
And you get to go to Israel. It's like it's a birthright trip.
Right. Yeah. That there's so much I don't know. But so I love going around though and hearing all this different stuff.
Yeah.
And then learning about, and just even learning about like different things in Miami. You know what I mean? People will do a lot of jokes just about cultural things there that, I don't know. If you come up to Rochester, you'll hear people do jokes about the garbage plate and a lot of local things. You'll be like, what the hell is that? But so New York, it's a lot. I mean, I was at one show. It was just like one Jewish comic after another talking about their upbringing and being Orthodox Jewish. And a lot of it, I'm just like, I don't know the religion. So for me, it does kind of get lost, but
there's certain things that obviously, a lot of dick jokes because I don't have one. Like when like something grazes your dick, I'm like, no, I don't know that feeling because I don't have one. And in fact, my first open mic back was this open mic by my house, which I actually love going to that mic. Not just because it's by my house, but it's a really nice, supportive crowd. And I remember I'm like sitting there and I like forcibly befriended a comic that was there by himself too. I was like, please sit next to me. Because it was my first time back. And male comic after male comic, there's at least one bit about their dick or masturbating. And then I whispered to the guy, I'm like, I know I've been gone for 10 years, but I'm so glad that dick jokes are alive and well. There's so many dicks. It's like a bag of dicks. This is a bag of dicks.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you what happened to me when I was there. Like this was like probably like 3 years ago. And I went to an open mic in Boca.
Okay.
And, I got there. It's packed. I mean, I'm talking like it was hugely packed. It was like this hookah place in Boca.
Oh, okay.
Robot
Brewing, which is now something else. Yeah, now it's something else. Yeah, that open mic was going for like a long time.
Okay, so this open mic was like totally like lit, and I get in there and I'm like, holy shit. So I get on the list. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not used to this many people. Like it was standing room only. It was packed.
Wow.
So this guy comes and he sits with me in the small thing. And it was like two tight chairs together. So he's like chatting, right? And he's like, this is my first time ever doing an open mic here. I'm like, oh, cool, me too. I'm like, I'm from up north and da-da-da. So he's chatting. He's the nicest guy. So sweet. Right. And I'm having like a nice chat. Now we're together. It looks like we're together. This is a lesson I've learned, okay? It looks like we attended this mic together.
Oh, no.
He goes up before me, okay?
Right.
And he's like, all right. They call him. He gets up there.
Yeah.
He starts telling fucking the most inappropriate, nasty jokes, not funny. He's screaming about faggots. Oh my God. It was, he's just like yelling about.
He was like the nicest guy to you before. And you're like, you would have never.
No.
Complete 180.
No. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy. And this is, now, Diane, how bad must he have been?
For you to be offended,
Mike went up on stage to get the microphone from him.
Mike Cintron?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Mind you, Mike is pretty,
But that's
he's
how
a
bad
cool guy, but that's how bad oh my God.
So he's like heading up there to take the mic, like they're trying to cut him off. And I'm just like, oh no. Now I run from that chair and I go into the crowd in the back and I hide because I'm like, this motherfucker is not coming back and sitting with me.
Nope, you're not.
Laura, that's like a lesson. So I'll never forget, though, I was listening to another comic who's famous on a podcast. Yeah. And she said the similar story. Yeah. And I remember being like, oh, my God, I was thinking like that happened to me. Like people thought, we were friends. And I'm like, I don't know this guy. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, his comedy was so bad that they had to actually take the mic away. And this is South Florida where shit can be real. Don't get me wrong.
I've heard some things that
there was a ton of other guys that went up that here in Rochester, they'd have fucking hung him for. They'd have dragged his ass off with one of those loops, you know, like the Gong Show.
Yeah.
But they let this guy, you know what I mean? Like, but so this guy was that bad. So yes, that was my story of my first time doing stand up. So then it was my turn to go up, and I'm thinking, oh God, please don't let them think I was with him.